Okay, today I'm gonna explain about educational needs. So, like you could see, my name is Diego Chango, and I'm in 6 unique from psychology subject. Well, like students with special needs are very important for a teacher to see because sometimes we as teachers don't know how to see the clues and how to see if the student is actually has a disability. Hopefully, with this talking about this, we're gonna know a little bit more about it. Okay, first of all, we need to see it as alternative assessments. We have to find the strengths of students. That means that we have to see what the student is good at and then try to help him with what he does best. And then if we see any problem, we have to look for support in education or in any other help that we can get by other teachers, by medical professionals, psychologists, and other stuff. We need as future teachers, we need strategies for modifying assessments. First of all, we need portfolios. Whenever you use a portfolio, you need to know that if you see something wrong with a student, you have to write it down on your portfolio, and you have to keep writing it to see if whatever you think is possible. Then you could see, for example, you put one day and it says this student did this, or this student had a problem learning this, or this student was too hyperactive today. So therefore you keep like a record or track of every student in your class. Then one of the most important things is observe the student regularly. You have to keep observing the student, you have to see what's going on, you have to get involved as a future teacher. The least restrictive environment. Well, this depends on the school, on the student, but you have to try to make your student with any disability or anything wrong with him, you have to make him feel equal in the same environment. So that means that he could be in a class and you could be right teaching everyone, but he could be included. He could feel special, but he wouldn't feel excluded of any other person. Therefore, he will be a better student because he knows that he could be able to talk with other students. The teacher needs to watch out for signs and any disability of students. We have been learning about many disabilities in this class. For example, there could be disabilities with sight, there could be disability with hearing, there could be many other long-term disabilities like speech and language disorders, cognitive disabilities, attention deficit hyperactive disorder. So we as teachers have to look out for this type of students. If we see a student, for example, in the back and that can't see and is always rubbing his eyes, or he's always closing his eyes and his eyes is always red, we as teachers know that he has some type of disability or he can't see. Even though there's a cure, glasses or whatever, try to put him in the front so that student could know what's going on. It is very important for a student to see what's going on in the board. There are always other disorders and other disabilities, speech and language disorders. Well, this is easy to find out because the students with a speech and language disorder is really hard, is easy to understand he got that disorder. Then there's cognitive disorders. This is a little bit harder because this is where a student can't find what he's doing, don't know what he's doing. And the most hard one to find out is attention deficit hyperactive disorder, also known as ADHD. A student with this problem can concentrate for more than one thing at a time. So you have to keep in mind that all students may have this disorder, and you have to see if a student has this disorder, try to get him treatment with medical treatment, with psychologists, educational psychologists, medical psychologists, and therefore you will know that you are doing the right thing, because sometimes this type of students are not really dumb, they just is not their fault. So we as future teachers have to know that we could help these students, and we can even have them in the same class if we study enough and we know how to teach this type of students, of course with help from professionals. Well, we have to know as teachers to make an individual educational plan or IEP. This is very important for us to as future teachers. If we have a student with a disorder, we don't have to treat him like the rest. He is treated differently. It's like a sick kid. So you have to have other type of plans for him. Even though you have to keep in mind that all the students are equal and you have to teach all the students, you have to make plans for everyone. There are strengths and weaknesses from other students, and you can find a student with ADHD that has a strength. So you could use that strength to teach him. It could be poetry, art, depending on the student. So you as a teacher have to see your class as a whole, but at the same time you have to see as individuals, because sometimes these kids need a lot of help. Well, I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and it is very important for us as teachers to see that our students with disabilities are hard to see, and it's very hard to adapt him with other class. But hopefully, with us learning more about it, we could not have a problem in the future. Thank you very much.